What's up, guys? This is John, and you're watching Old Stuff is Cool. Today, I've got for you the latest dollar comic haul from Whatnot seller Harvey Dawes Comics. This has become a bit of a regular occurrence here on the channel. I've been finding some really good books on the dollar claim shows. I've started new runs on characters that I love from the past. I've continued runs that I've been collecting for years. In particular, a lot of the books I find are from the 80s and 90s. So if you are a 40-something comic book collector like me, you might get a good bit of nostalgia in today's haul. So without further ado, let's get into the books. Alright guys, we've turned the camera around. Before we get any further, please like, comment, and subscribe. It goes a long way to supporting the channel, helping it grow, and I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much in advance. So we're going to kick off the haul with some Batman, and it's just a few issues this time. Again, this is the dollar haul from Harvey Dawes Comics on Whatnot. We've got Batman 501. This is Night Quest. That is what is affectionately called as Bats. It's John Paul Valley Azrael as Batman in his own unique suit. And I've talked before about how Nightfall was my introduction to the world of Batman comics. Not necessarily Batman. That's probably Batman 66 with Adam West. But Night Quest, I've always loved a few of these covers. I mean, they're very 90s. And despite all the weird leg pouches, a belt that's holding nothing up since wearing spandex, despite all that, I still really like this costume. I chalk it up to nostalgia. I got a few issues of these, issue 501, and this is Doug Mensch on writing duties and Mike Manley on art. A little closer look for you. We've also got 503. And this era of Catwoman's costume, that was interesting. I think it's kind of a bridge between her old school look and what would become her modern look. And issue 504. I did have issue 502, but it was accidentally left out, and it will come in a future box. But all that to say is, I don't think I'm going to hunt down the rest of Night Quest. I do have this whole Nightfall, Night Quest, Night's End. I have that available in digital format. I like the idea of having some of the comics, but with my Nightfall and Prelude to Nightfall almost all complete, I think that's where I'm going to at least stop for now, because there are so many other runs that we'll get to in a little bit, but also in my past hauls, I've really liked picking up 90s Incredible Hulk by Peter David, and even I think Daredevil. I might need to make some room for Daredevil. So I think not too much more Batman in the future. Plus, I gotta catch up and read the ones I picked up. And speaking of Daredevil, we've got 2 issues of Daredevil in this haul. These are the first 2 parts of Last Rites. I got the other parts in the previous haul videos. So we've got issue 297 here with Typhoid Mary and the Rain. I did own this story arc in the past. And I'm just checking. Let's see, the writer, I think it's Chichester. Yeah, D.G. Chichester. I hope I'm saying that right. I found that to be an unusual name, but Chichester had a run from starting here, going to Fall from Grace, which I still need 2 parts of. Pencils are by Lee Weeks. So 297 and 298. We got OG Nick Fury there too. Just to keep things interesting, I got some Dazzler. And truth be told, this is another comic I had in the past that I distinctly remember picking up at a flea market back in my youth. I love Galactus. I mean, Galactus Mighty Mug is just right there. I've been wanting to get this issue at $1. That's really no question. And I think issue 11 following this has Terrax on the cover with Dazzler too. So I'm going to be on the hunt for that. Let's get into some Captain America. Yes, I am still picking Captain America, and I've gotten a good chunk of this run here by Mark Grunwald. I don't know if I'm gonna go complete and fill in every nook and cranny, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm enjoying collecting Cap. It's an inexpensive, fun read. So here we have issue 296. All right, so next up we have Captain America 336, where he takes on the role of the Captain. He's left his position as Captain America, or the title, whatever, after being disillusioned. Some really iconic covers at this time during this run. You know, we get U.S. Agent John Walker, or rather, we get John Walker, who becomes the newly appointed Captain America, and eventually U.S. Agent. And issue 338. And that is in fact John Walker there with his own sidekick. Issue 339. And that's interesting. That is, I think that's Famine, one of the original Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. It's a Fall of the Mutants tie-in. Oh, and there we have, it doesn't look that different. It is black, and that's Steve Rogers as the Captain there. Let's get a closer look. In the cornfields, it's getting attacked. This is a cool cover for issue 340. The villains coming out of the shadows there. Issue 343. And here's a cool split cover, issue 345. Of both the Captain and Captain America. And then here we have, jumping up to issue 387, the Superior Stratagem. That is the female version of MODOK called MODAM. I have no idea what the acronym is off the top of my head, but man, I remember seeing this cover just like, oh, just look at those teeth. That's one scary woman. Issue 388. Part 2 of the Superior Stratagem. Oops. And these covers are by Ron Lim, but not the interiors. He has since moved on. I think at this time he took up Silver Surfer and possibly was working with George Perez, taking care of Infinity Gauntlet. If not during this time, it's definitely ramping up. So 389. And then this gem right here, issue 408. I really love Capwolf. I love the ridiculous concept, but I don't know, it's also endearing. It's very much of the time. And this is also an Infinity War crossover. So we talked about Infinity Gauntlet, and here's Infinity War, not too long after that success. It's funny though, that's Capwolf fighting his doppelganger, which is a whole thing, evil versions. And even though it's not part of that, I forgot the Capwolf storyline, it does end as a finale to that. And also, this is going to be kind of acting as a finale or a cap to where I can comfortably stop collecting Captain America as far as the top end. So issue 408, I'm good at this point in time, not collecting anything above here. It finishes off a storyline that kind of kicked off this whole thing between Capwolf and wanting to hunt down Ron Lim's, time as an artist on this title. I like putting these own stops. I don't feel like I need to get a complete run, a complete 400 plus issue run of Captain America to be a happy collector. We all gotta know our limits, right? So Capwolf versus Cap Doppelganger. So that was a big chunk of Captain America. I think I have some nice variety in today's haul. We have some Fantastic Four related things here. This is the annual 24. It's part of the Korvac Quest, a fun annual crossover starring the Guardians of the Galaxy and Michael Korvac, one of their big villains. And there's our boy Kang. This annual kind of crossover was called Citizen Kang. This is Fantastic Four Annual 25. Very, very cool cover here. Menacing. And then these are two issues I've been looking for to help round out my Ultimate Fantastic Four collection, and it's issues 19 and 20. I'm not sure how I missed these in the first place. it must have been during a brief break in my collecting, because I have like a good chunk of issues after this. 19 and 20. And these are some great reads here. At this point, Mike Carey was writing it. I think Brian Michael Bendis is what kicked off the Ultimate Fantastic Four series. But yeah, it's good to find these run fillers, especially on the dollar show. Oh, and here we have a gem for you. All standalone. You've got Force Works #1, 90s excess, all the way. This is a little beat up, not quite spine ticks, but there's some, roughness down here. And after kind of poking around on YouTube, this is a pop-up cover, and in general, I think there's no good. I'm tempted to, but I think there's some old glue holding this flap down, and it's a pop-up poster. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if I think there's even some tearing here that maybe the previous owner or at some point someone tried popping it up and it didn't quite work. So it's not quite a tear, but I know I'm sorry. That is a bit of tearing there. I think there's a reason we have not seen this gimmick again. It's so, you can see here, it's the pop-up thing. It's like a folded poster, right? Funny enough, though, this one is written by Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning. I love that duo because of I had to double check. I love Abnett and Lanning for their writing on Annihilation crossover. It's such a great kind of reboot of the Marvel cosmic landscape. So this is one of their earlier works together. Again, very, very 90s, the recurring theme there. This next stack here, I will admit, is a bit of an impulse buy. I have been buying Marvel 2-in-1 through the dollar show, and I wasn't sure, was I just going for certain issues, covers that drew me, but I think I'd like to complete the run, or at least the parts that I have, like issues 30 and up, or whatever it might be. So here are a few. Issue 42 is notable. It's Marvel 2-in-1 presents The Thing and Captain America. Introduces Project Pegasus, which they definitely mine for more stories. Issue 44 featuring Hercules. This is one I've been keeping my eye out for. Speaking of specific issues, issue 74, it's a Christmas issue, and I've been wanting to hunt down more Christmas-related issues. Maybe not like holiday specials necessarily, but I'd love to get some of these old school books that had a special holiday/Christmas issue right in the main run. And hey, it's Ben Grimm Thing getting attacked by a bunch of toys. Of course, the villain here is the Puppet Master. Issue 76 here, featuring Iceman. Oh, and we've got Ringmaster and the Circus of Crime. I always found this villain to be a goofy. I also associate Ringmaster with the Hulk. Issue 82, we've got Captain America as well as Goliath. Oh, sorry, Giant Man? He's gone by a few names. Bill Foster. Issue 83 with Sasquatch. Good old Alpha Flight. Sound off in the comments if you're an Alpha Flight fan. Issue 84. Continuing the story with Alpha Flight. So it's not just Sasquatch this time, but all flight. Issue 93 versus the Machine Man. I have a soft spot for Machine Man, Aaron Stack. I think it's from my love of Next Wave. I think Agents of Hate. He is hilarious there. Oh, and then we have the double-sized final issue of Marvel 2-in-1, issue 100. The Thing and Ben Grimm, which I'm sure you're supposed to be like, huh? So this is the end. Next up, we've got Incredible Hulk 385. This was a missing issue in the little mini run of Hulk books I got from last time. So nice to fill in those gaps. Oh, and some. Speaking of impulse buys, we've got some Marvel Comics Presents. I got the first appearance of Cyber last haul, This one, I remember a good friend, childhood friend growing up, having this issue and I think a bunch of issues from the run at this time. I also forgot there's double covers here, and this is a cover that attracted me. Both are by Sam Keith, but man, I love this very loose, kind of exaggerated Ghost Rider and Cable. Again, very 90s. I didn't appreciate it for the time. I thought it's too exaggerated when I was a kid. But Sam Keith has some fantastic Wolverine and Nightcrawler covers at this time. I'd love to get the remainder, the remaining covers, just because Nightcrawler looks so eerie, and these crazy proportions. Even with they're not shoulder pads, but the overhang of his costume, it looks like wings here, and I'm here for it. Also, just look at the moodiness and the shadows of Wolverine there. So I got this cover. I mean, yes, totally a cover buy, but I'd love to get the rest of this little story. And then we have a Sam Keith, Doctor Strange, and Ghost Rider. Also very cool in its own right. Did I mention this is issue 101? Yeah. Very cool. $4 for a nice cover. Not a problem. And then we got some Thor here. I'm still not exactly sure where I'm going with my Thor collecting. I mean, in some ways, I'd love to get more of the Simonson run, which this is the end. This is kind of, the conclusion of Walter Simonson's run on Thor. But I'd also just love to have the Simonson Omnibus. And I think if I keep my eyes on that, I'll probably forego the single issues. But it's okay if I pick up a few kind of in my hunting. I think that's the way. I'm not gonna actively seek it, but if it comes my way, whether digitally or in person, I wouldn't mind picking up. I do like where Thor is housed in the Destroyer armor here. It just goes for a kind of a ridiculous but interesting look here. And this is issue 382, giant size, 300th anniversary issue. I'm not sure. That reminds me of Kid Loki. I don't think that's supposed to be Kid Loki at that point. So yeah, end of the Simonson run, an epic run on Thor. And moving on, issue 383. I guess this is an untold tale from the Secret Wars era. That's kind of cool. I was able to get a good portion of Wolverine, which I'm trying to collect, I think, up to issues 1 through 100 thereabouts of volume 2, his first ongoing. Issue 55 here. There's some stellar covers too by Adam Kubert, by Mark Texeira, what was I going to say, John Byrne. So many great cover artists. This one I think is a Kubert cover. Oh no, I'm sorry, Mark Silvestri. Bad memory. Mark Silvestri on cover as well as interiors. Then we have issue 59. That I feel like you see this cover around all the time. Not my favorite, but I like it. Hey, look, it's our boy D.G. Chichester. I did not know he drew this. He wrote this. Derek Robertson is the artist here. There's definitely fill-in artists throughout the run of this book. Issue 60. Larry Hama takes over as writer at this point. I wish I checked to see who the cover artist was. I don't quite recognize it, but that's Shiva, who was introduced in this robot was introduced in issue 50. That die cut cover. And speaking of Mark Texeira, there's some great text covers here. Just look at that blast of pink and the pink energy in the background. Kind of similar with what we're looking at Sam Keith. They are their own people, mind you, but I think there's some like kind of super muscled out, and the way each artist kind of exaggerates in their own way, it's very distinct. And I think I just like the more clean commercial style in my youth, and have come to appreciate more folks who really put their put their distinct style on well-known characters. There's Texeria again, issue 62. Issue 66. I got a Sauron appearance with the dinos. I think that's Dan Panosian. 71, issue 71 here. And that's it for Wolverine, because then we have X Factor 14. This one is notable for, this is where Angel has his wings amputated. And to round things out, Uncanny X-Men Annual number 15. I do think this is the last annual before they change the numbering format. So I was trying to collect most of those annuals. I think I just need 2 more. And this is the favorite part of my haul. I was surprised to find the original Elektra miniseries with some very beautiful Bill Sienkiewicz art. I guess we're looking at a lot of abstract artists, which I came around liking later. It's not the full run. I think I have everything but 3 issues, but I believe this is a more mature story. I did hear the story is not necessarily the best, but this is definitely more for the art here. And I think, you know, Elektra being a character introduced in Daredevil, this goes along with my Daredevil kick that I'm on currently. So we've issue 2, issue 3. There's a disturbing picture. It looks like as if they, you know, hunted and caught Elektra there. Not sure exactly what's going on. Issue 6. That's a cool cover. Oh, these are out of order. I apologize. Issue 5. Issue 7. A little take on a well-known painting. I'm blanking on the name right now. A classic American painting. Name. We'll leave the name down there. But yeah, I really liked finding these issues of Elektra. I often read things digitally, or, you know, at least first go I can either find out Marvel Unlimited or borrow it from my library. However, this series was not available on both. I think I was lured in when no one was snatching these up on the dollar show, and they were just all there, spread out on the wall, just waiting for someone to call them home. So 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. I need 1, 4, and 8. So not too shabby. I'm sure it gives me something to do, something to keep an eye out for. But yeah, I'm curious if you have read this miniseries, whether you liked it or disliked it. I'd love to hear from you before I dig in. You know, let me know in the comments. Love to have a conversation with you there. But that's the haul. Let's spin the camera back around and wrap things up. All right, guys. So that was my latest dollar book haul. What did you think? Did you have a favorite? Did it dredge up any memories, good or bad, for you seeing some of these old comics? If so, please be sure to leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you and even start a conversation. Thank you again for tuning into today's video, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Take care.